First up, a day after Sachin's book excerpts slamming Greg Chappell came out, the Australian has now hit back at the Master Blaster, saying he never intended to remove Rahul Dravid in favour of Sachin Tendulkar, as the latter has written in his book. Chappell responded saying he's shocked to hear the Indian batsman's claims. He says that he only visited Sachin's house once, and that was to check on his rehabilitation following an injury. Chappell insisted the talk of captaincy never came up during his time at Sachin's house. Remember, Sachin has claimed in his autobiography that Chappell visited him at his place and suggested that he should take over the captaincy from Rahul Dravid. He goes on to write in his book that Greg said that if he accepted the offer, both could control Indian cricket for years to come. Now, former Indian captain Rahul Dravid has denied having any knowledge of this private conversation between Sachin Tendulkar and Greg Chappell. Let's listen into what he and many others had to say on the upcoming book.
I made my point quite clear that it referred to, I think, a personal conversation between two people, and I really didn't have much to say because I haven't been privy to that conversation, or I haven't been privy to any of those topics discussed. Firstly, I haven't read the book. I mean, it's hard to just go on bits and pieces that we're picking up on the media. So once I've read the book and had an opportunity to see it, then I'll be in a better position to maybe comment on it, or actually feel if I really do need to comment on it.
I think it was a little bit over enthusiasm for enthusiast's sake to push things a little bit quicker than what he should have done. He should have waited for some more time to gauge the attitude, aptitude, and the how Indians behave.
And I still remember in 2006 when I was added for the last one-day game in South Africa and then for the Test series. I remember when I went to South Africa, probably the most negative dressing room I ever have come across. There was a lot of tension within the dressing room, and it was unnecessary. There was a divide created between the seniors and juniors, and I always believed that a cricket team is like a family.
One of India's leading fast bowlers, Zahir Khan, has also lashed out at Greg Chappell, saying, and I quote, "It was as if you've been framed. It was like we don't want you in the team," unquote. Zahir added he felt it personally because he was dropped straight after the Sri Lankan tour, even though he hadn't performed badly. Let's go across to the co-author of the upcoming autobiography, Boria Majumdar, joining us exclusively. Boria, what do you make of Greg Chappell coming out and denying what Sachin has said? Lakshman has backed him, Saurav has backed him. Lakshman, in fact, agreed that yes, there was that instance where Greg Chappell almost threatened him, as Sachin has mentioned in the book. But Greg Chappell himself making it my word against your word.
That was expected. That is Chappell's opinion. We respect his opinion. Between Sachin and I, this is his story. He wanted to say it his way. He's put his version out in the open, Shivani. It's for his fans and the millions of cricket fanatics, analysts, journalists to believe whose version you want to believe. So, I'm sure Sachin will not want to get into this war of words. What he had to say, he said in the book. Some of his teammates have come out in support. Maybe some others will not. But the question is, this is his story. He's put out, and I can tell you what he's put out. He's 100% honest. He's full of integrity, and I see no reason whatsoever in doubting any claim that Sachin has made in the book. That much I can assure you. But at the same time, Chappell is entitled to what he wants to say.
Right. The book launch, Boria, finally tomorrow in Mumbai. What can we expect from Sachin Tendulkar's book launch finally when it happens tomorrow evening?
It's right here, behind me in this hotel tomorrow in the evening around 5:30. I can't speak more on the book. All I can tell you is read it. If you think what has come out is practically all that he had to say on Chappell, you're badly mistaken. I will tell you, read it. Rahul Dravid, I was reading in one of his articles saying he wants to read about batsmanship. There is incredible amounts on batsmanship. 151 words. What has come out is perhaps 1100 words. So you understand, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. So all I would say is read the book. Tomorrow it will be launched. It will be in the stores day after. It's been 4 years in the making. So read it. I hope you will enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. Boria, the whole cricketing world all across the globe is waiting for this book. If there's ever a book that you wait for, it's really Sachin Tendulkar's autobiography. Co-author Boria Majumdar, thanks a lot for joining us. And of course, as you mentioned, this book has already created a lot of ripples. Earlier, we spoke to Harbhajan Singh exclusively on Headlines Today, and he came out lambasting Greg Chappell, calling him a liar, someone who destroyed Indian cricket. Listen in. First up, your thoughts on what Sachin has said about Greg Chappell, calling him a ringmaster and someone who destroyed the team's harmony, was keen and intent on dropping a lot of seniors.
Well, absolutely right. You know, whatever Sachin has said, I stand by him, because Greg Chappell was wanted to be the leader, and he wanted to, you know, drop a lot of the senior players. And in fact, he was the person who tried his best to take the team to the next level. I mean, not upwards, but definitely downwards. And he was quite successful doing that. And he was one person who created a lot of insecurity amongst the players. It was not a happy unit. You know, those 2 years was probably one of the sad period of time to play cricket for BCCI, you know, and he was not the right sort of person to work for Indian team. And we have a lot of time told this to various people, a lot of people at the authority, but since his contract was for 2 years, and he made sure those 2 years he utilized a lot of people, you know, and put his views forward, whatever he wanted to say about the individuals and the teams. And you know, he got away with a lot of things what he was doing wrong, and it was absolutely a disgrace, you know, how he was operating. Probably the worst period of my cricketing career.
Right. So, Harbhajan, you're saying that a lot of the players actually told the BCCI, those in power, about what Greg Chappell was doing, and yet the BCCI didn't take any step. A lot of the players actually went to the BCCI. Sachin himself has written in the book that he told the BCCI that Greg shouldn't even travel to the World Cup. You also told a lot of people in the BCCI, isn't it?
I mean, lot of time we actually mentioned, to a lot of the people, you know, who were, I mean, in a way was powerful at that time, and told them that, you know, we don't need a guy like him who is just thrashing Indian cricket. He is not helping Indian cricket to grow, but he was definitely, you know, digging a hole for all of us to fall into. You know, the same bunch of guys who he was recommending through media to the officials that these guys are the cancer in the team and blah blah, whatever he, you know, said about us. Same guys went on to win 2 World Cup, which is obviously feels great. And of course he was a man with a double face. You know, he was a man you can't trust. You know, whatever he said, we never trusted him.
Right. Do you think, Bhaji, the BCCI made a mistake by letting Greg Chappell continue, despite the fact that such senior players as Sachin Tendulkar were not happy with him, and he had, you know, most of the players were not happy with him. You complained to them as well. Should the BCCI have just fired him earlier itself, before his tenure got over?
Well, it would have been great, you know, if they would have fired him at that point of time. It would have helped us to grow faster, you know, because he, by then, you know, in first 6 months of his tenure, he actually damaged a lot of things. You know, people were not believing what exactly we were saying, because, you know, they actually felt that, you know, probably we guys are making mistake, and we don't like him because, you know, he projected himself that he's a strict master or guru or whatsoever, and our media made him so big that none of our Indian cricket have achieved what he have achieved, which was untrue. And you know, we as players, we wanted to grow as players, as team, and want to do well. But of course, things would have been better if he would have gone earlier, but now whatever said and done, we were all relieved that he's going, and once he's gone, you can see the results. Same players have achieved some different heights in cricket, and in fact, I just would like to say that even when he was after Saurav, I was the one guy who actually stood by Saurav, and I put my career under threatened by standing alone next to him, but I'm glad that now people will realize that I was standing on the right side, and we have not made any mistake, but he was the guy who actually destroying Indian cricket.
Greg has now come out saying today that Sachin's claims are untrue. He's making it his word against Sachin's. Do you think Greg Chappell is blatantly lying about what Sachin has written in his book?
He is a liar. He's a big liar. He's been lying to all of us, and he cheated not just us but the whole India. But this is not a shocking kind of a thing. Greg Chappell is saying that he didn't offer this to Sachin and he didn't do this or that, whatever. You can talk to each and every individual and what kind of a person he was. I'm sure he was going to react to Sachin's comment like that only, that he never offered Sachin a captaincy. Definitely, I can tell you whatever Sachin is saying, he's saying the truth, because Sachin is a guy who's a very, very, very honest about what he says, and he'll never lie.
Do you think, Bajji, that Greg Chappell should apologize? He's been very brazen, not just despite the fact that, as you said, he took Indian cricket downwards. There were so many problems. Performances had hit rock bottom. The 2007 World Cup is still a nightmare for most Indian fans. Do you think Greg Chappell should apologize, not just for that, but also, like today, he's come out and called Sachin Tendulkar a liar? Do you think he should apologize to Sachin?
But what will happen? We don't need his apology. Whatever damage he wanted to do, whatever damage he has done at that point of time, it took us 4 years to bring it back. Because I think 2007 we had such great team, and that could have end up winning the World Cup. But everybody was so unsure of their roles, of their own place, and there was so much of insecurity he created in the team and among the players. Nobody was believing each other, and you didn't know which player is going and talking behind you to Greg Chappell and what exactly people are feeding to each other. So there was no trust in the team. So damage has been done, and whether he says sorry or not, but that's not going to change anything, but glad he is not working within the team or with the team or with cricket board anymore, and I hope he stays as far as he can, or we keep him as far as we can, that he should not even come close to the Indian cricket.
Now, Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar hasn't held back in his upcoming autobiography, calling former Indian coach Greg Chappell a ring master. Here's what former Indian skipper Sourav Ganguly said in reaction to Sachin's description of Chappell, speaking exclusively to Headlines today.
I'm happy that Sachin has written the true facts of that period. A lot of things were written. I lost my captaincy, and obviously then I came back and played again for India. But the circumstances in which those situations happened was not very good. But that's past. That's a long way behind, and I'm very happy that somebody as big as Sachin, somebody with Sachin's credibility, has spoken about it and addressed the issue. I wish someday I could tell my side of the story, right from the tour of Zimbabwe and for the next 1.5 years. But that could keep the news going on for the next 2 years. So I've restrained myself from doing that. But it's great to see that Sachin has spoken the truth in the book. This is the first time I'm hearing. Obviously, this is a closed-door discussion between Greg and Sachin. But I presume it's true, and I find it absolutely ridiculous. And I lost my captaincy in 2006, in 2005, and the World Cup was early 2007. So Rahul became captain in 2005, December, January, and in another 8 months he needed another captain.
It just goes to show the way he thought. It just goes to show what damage he's done to Indian cricket, and it just goes to show the character of the man, that he's someone who you cannot trust, whether it's Ganguly, Dravid or Tendulkar. It was one of the worst phases of Indian cricket, and one of the worst phases cricketers can go through, especially someone like me. What I've gone through during the period was beyond imagination, because there were lies after lies and I had to live with it. I was left out of the team because obviously he had the power. Rahul came as captain, and then 6 months later he wanted Rahul removed and Sachin as captain. So it just goes to show the way the man went about his job. You saw it in our results. You saw the way we played in the World Cup. We didn't even qualify, and I was not surprised to see that. And I had spoken to Dravid about that much later. We were playing a test match in Bangalore, and I told him that these were the things going on. What surprised me was that he knew it, and he couldn't control Greg, so it was a similar problem there. I really don't have much time for Greg Chappell. I really don't have much time to discuss about him, because I've got no respect for him in my heart. For me, it was been the lowest point of my career. I played 13 years for India, and I enjoyed it, except that period of 1 year where everything was related to reasons other than cricket, and where else our job was just to play the sport.